Well, good Thursday morning, everybody. It is July 8th, and today we are going to finish chapter 25 of the book of Acts. We're going to look at verses 23 to 27 this morning. So that is what we're going to finish, and then tomorrow we'll get into chapter 26, obviously. So Paul is going to today appear before Agrippa and Bernice, King Agrippa. Remember, he and she have this incestuous relationship. Can't pronounce that today, but you know what I mean. It's not a good thing, or at least they were highly suspected of that, and pretty rightly, I think, it was a pretty strong suspicion throughout the historical records. But at any rate, they are in fact Jewish because their father was Herod Agrippa the first. This is Herod Agrippa the second, but Herod the Great was their great-grandfather, if you remember, and they are Jewish because of that. So here we finally have some Jews listening to being in judgment of Paul. Let's put it that way. Though we did have Drusilla as well that was there. But she wasn't really standing in judgment. She was more just listening. And I guess that technically Bernice and Agrippa are just listening too. I should correct myself. They're trying to help Festus, rather. Getting my Felix Festus. Festus is the current governor. Festus is trying to come up with some charge. So that's what's going on today. So let's just dive in. I apologize yet again. So on the next day, Agrippa and Bernice came with great pomp, and they entered the audience hall with the military tribunes and the prominent men of the city. Then Festus gave the order, and Paul was brought in. And Festus said, "King Agrippa, and all here present with us, you see this man about whom the whole Jewish community petitioned me, both in Jerusalem and here, shouting that he ought not to live any longer. But I found that he had done nothing deserving death. And when he appealed to his Imperial Majesty, I decided to send him. But I have nothing definite to write to our sovereign about him. Therefore I have brought him before all of you, and especially before you, King Agrippa, so that after we have examined him, I may have something to write. For it seems to me unreasonable to send a prisoner without indicating the charges against him." Okay. It wouldn't only be unreasonable for Festus to do that, it would probably be ill-advised, because it would signal to Rome that he wasn't up to the task of keeping order there. He couldn't even resolve a simple matter, something so simple that you can't even figure, well, what exactly was the problem? Well, I don't know. So I sent it to you. Well, you should have been able to figure out the problem before you sent it to me. And if it was a problem you could have taken care of, you should have taken care of it, not sending it up the ladder. So that, the Pax Romana is the peace of Rome, and so he's in charge of keeping that in that area as the governor. That's his responsibility for Festus. So he needs to figure out, is there a reason why I should, some charge that validates sending him on to Rome. If it's a charge that doesn't, if there's no charge, I'm wasting wasting time and money, because it costs money to send him by under guard all the way to Rome. That's not going to be cheap. So he needs to come up with something. And right now, everything seems to be, everything is about these Asian Jews charging him with these things that they charged him with way back when in Acts here, and mainly taking somebody into the temple court, and those are all religious things. Those are all religious things, nothing to do with the Roman law. So the Romans don't really care about that. Not that they don't really care, other than it causing disturbances. They don't care at all. And King Agrippa, I would guess, is not what you would call a particularly good Jew. So let's put it that way. So they have come in with great pomp and circumstance, and a whole bunch of different people are being brought in, and it's kind of being used as a state visit in a way. It almost seems recognizing King Agrippa and Bernice. But lo and behold, the tables are going to turn come tomorrow, and we're going to see how God's going to use this opportunity with Paul and to witness not only to King Agrippa, but all those folks that are gathered there, all these prominent men of the city, all of the military tribunes, and we just don't know what effect that had, but we have to think that it had some effect. So that's where we're going to pick up in the morning with Paul's speech, at least the first half of Paul's speech, the first portion of Paul's speech. So I'm going to leave you with hanging today. This is one of those to be continued moments like they used to do in the old days. To be continued, to flash across the screen. Come back tomorrow kind of thing. But come back tomorrow, but also come back tonight. Good morning, Phyllis. Come back tonight because I will be coming back to post a song or a hymn or something at 7. And don't forget that from 5 to 5:15 we have drive-through communion today at the church. If you want to come, if you are still or not coming back to church on Sundays, and you'd like to pick up communion, please come by. Or if you'd like us to bring communion out to us, give us a holler and we'll bring communion out to you. How's that? All right, have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow, and be a blessing to someone. Please, please. See you later. Bye-bye.